Hey, what's up guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Gemstone Legends. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about Moroz, who is the newest fusible legendary hero since the Everlasting Blizzard event is now available. So once you complete it and you get all 4 epic heroes, you can then fuse them. And I want to answer in this question in this video, and that is whether it's worth the 20 million to fuse him instead of just keeping the 4 epic heroes. In my opinion, he is worth it. He does have a lot of utility, and I'm going to show you in the video how you can gear him and also some of his skills. So let's get right into it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at his skills and also his loadout. So I'm just going to say that Moroz is all about health, okay? You can see that I have a giant set on him, and that is because the giant set gives you 20% health boost as well as 20% health boost as well as 20% critical damage. Because he's in a warrior type, health and damage are both going to be good for him because he can dish out a little bit of damage, he can tank quite a bit of hits, and his ability is all about, you know, dealing damage based on his health and the speed of your attackers. He also can increase a little bit, he can decrease damage by 2 turns and I believe 3 turns at max level. So you do want to have a little bit of accuracy on him if possible, but your primary focus is going to be on health. He's going to be a nightmare to deal with if you're using red attackers because he receives less damage from them and he'll deal more damage to you. He will also randomly freeze somebody for 2 turns if you hit him with a critical damage from an active skill. So that means if you match gems and hit him, he's not going to activate that skill. He himself is immune to freeze. So if you're a Marina user, you will not be able to freeze Moroz. So that's something to keep in mind. And as I mentioned, health is going to be the primary stat that you want to focus on. If you can use a giant set or crusher set, I think both work. But the main important thing here is to focus on the primary stats, and that is going to be health. Then it's going to be critical rate, critical damage. Okay, so you want to make sure that you can get up to 85% or higher, and as for critical rate, and as high as you can for critical damage. Then the stats after that is maybe some accuracy, as I mentioned, so that you can land those debuffs. But otherwise, you can also focus on resistance so that you can make him super tanky and hard to debuff. Okay, so that is how you can load him out. I think this is a good compromise. You want to look for at least 50,000 or higher health on him so that you can dish more damage out to your opponents. So if we take a look at him in action in the arena against all red enemies, he's going to deal additional damage and damage based on their speed. You can also use him as a leader because he does give himself additional health, 50% more. And so with 60,000 health, when you dish out the damage, you can see that he's able to deal around 16,000 or so. And you also saw that the damage was varied because the amount of health, because of the amount of speed on each of the enemies, you can see is a little bit different. So we have 248 for Ursula and we have 234 for Ketra. So when you deal the damage, you can see that Ursula actually had more damage dealt to her compared to Ketra. And so you can see just how much damage he can deal to red enemies. When compared against neutral enemies, it's a very different story. As you can see, it is about 8,000 or so for the damage. And then if you look at against red enemy, we're talking about 16,000, 17,000. So you can see a big drop off when you're against a neutral enemy because you don't have that extra boost against the red enemy when you're dealing with neutrals. And against weak colors, it's also going to change a lot. And it also depends on whether or not his critical damage is going to be activated. So we're going to go ahead and deal some damage here. You can see we're about 4,000 or so. If we try one more time, and let's see. So I actually saw in some cases, I was not able to defeat even one of the enemies in the waves. And so you can definitely see that the amount of damage sort of jumps off a cliff when you are up against a non-red enemy. When we're dealing in rifts, for example, so here we have Phoenix 20. If you compare the damage output of Rogar, 38,000 here, to Moroz, so Moroz actually does pretty well. He's able to deal about 21,000, and this is without additional boost on him, meaning I'm not using him as a leader, and I don't have additional critical damage on him, he's able to still deal pretty good damage against the boss itself while also clearing the wave easily. And so he definitely is going to be very useful in any red levels where you're up against a red enemy, I think that you're going to be able to get a lot of mileage out of him. And so I definitely think that he is a good choice to go for and to utilize him wherever you can against any red sort of environment, campaign type, rift sort of game bosses. Now, one thing I couldn't show you is using a arena team with Moroz in arena effectively. So you can see here is my output, my results here of the 3 fights I used Moroz in. 2 losses and a win here. The losses were mostly because of speed issues. So my team just, because of the speed, because of the negative stats that they were able to place on me, I was not able to utilize him effectively. But what I will share, I think I have some B-roll here, is that the amount of damage that I was able to see against red enemies is about 8,000 or so, and significantly less when it comes to other colored heroes. And so I think that he can be useful in arena. I just haven't found a good team yet. And so if you know of a good setup, please feel free to share in the comments below and I can try them out and also share with others as well. I think that he could be really useful. I just need to find a good synergy for him in arena. But I find that he is pretty good in against any other parts of the game, and so I don't think that you're going to regret fusing him at all. I think that he could be a really good addition to your team, and I hope that you're able to get him as well. So that's going to be it for my video today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.